The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue across the vast savanna. The ground was dry and cracked, the earth seemingly parched under the intense heat. In the distance, a small tribe of Homo erectus moved steadily, their eyes sharp, their movements careful. They had been traveling for days, navigating the rugged terrain, in search of food and shelter, their minds as focused on survival as the sky was on their every step. As the tribe approached a river, the sound of rushing water filled the air, offering a brief moment of solace. Their tired bodies ached, and the youngest, a child, whimpered as their mother soothed them with a gently wrapped leaf filled with water. It wasn't just the heat or the hunger that had been wearing them down. Their world was far more dangerous than that. The real threat was in the thick grass, in the shadows, in the cracks and crevices of the landscape itself. The tribe had learned to fear the snakes that slithered through the underbrush. But these were not ordinary snakes.
Look!
These were giant creatures as large as a full-grown man, capable of striking with lightning speed. Their venom was deadly, and they had become the tribe's most persistent and deadly threat. As the group neared the riverbank, the tension in the air grew thick. The leader, an older man with weathered skin and sharp eyes, motioned for silence. They all knew that the river wasn't just a source of water. It was a place where the snakes often hunted. The tribe's movements became deliberate. Each step calculated, their senses heightened. Every rustle of the grass, every ripple in the water could mean danger. Suddenly, a low hiss broke the silence, followed by the unmistakable sound of scales scraping against the earth. A giant snake, its dark green scales glinting in the fading sunlight, emerged from the brush ahead. It was massive, its body coiling like a living serpent of legend, eyes cold and unblinking as it assessed the tribe's movements. The tribe froze their eyes, locked on the beast. The child, unaware of the danger, took a step forward, drawing the attention of the snake. The moment felt suspended in time, the air heavy with the scent of fear. The leader acted first. His hand shot out to grab the child, pulling them back just as the snake lunged. The attack was swift, but the tribe was ready. They had faced this many times before. It wasn't the first time they'd come up against the giants, and it wouldn't be the last. With a collective effort, the tribe sprang into action. Spears were thrust forward, stone-tipped and sharpened from years of use. The snake reared back, hissing loudly, its fangs bared as it coiled around to strike again. The young hunters, armed with the weapons they had learned to use from an early age, worked together to corner the creature. The battle for survival was on. The scene unfolded like a deadly dance. The snake's body writhed with incredible strength, its massive coils creating a wall of danger between the tribe and the water. The air was thick with tension as the hunters moved with precision, staying just outside of the snake's striking range, their spears poised to deliver the killing blow. The elder, his face lined with years of experience, motioned for the tribe to spread out. He knew they had to outsmart the creature, for brute strength alone wouldn't be enough. As the snake hissed, its tongue flicking in and out, the group split, moving in calculated angles to create confusion, forcing the serpent to strike at multiple targets. But just as the snake lunged at one of the young hunters, a loud crack echoed across the savanna. The elder had used his knowledge of the environment to trigger a trap he had knocked loose, a large boulder from the hillside above, sending it tumbling toward the snake. The boulder struck the creature, momentarily stunning it. This brief moment of disorientation was all the tribe needed. The young hunters rushed in, driving their spears into the snake's vulnerable underbelly. It thrashed violently, its great body flailing in a desperate attempt to escape. The struggle was fierce, but the tribe's experience and unity were their greatest weapons. Finally, with one final thrust, The young hunter drove his spear into the creature's head, ending the battle. The savanna fell silent once more, the only sound the steady rush of the river and the heavy breathing of the tribe. The giant snake, now lifeless, lay across the ground, a massive testament to the tribe's endurance and teamwork. The leader, his face grim yet proud, motioned for the tribe to gather. They had survived. Again. But the victory came at a price. The battle had left them exhausted, their bodies bruised, but their spirits remained unbroken. This was the world they inhabited, one where every day brought a new challenge, where survival was never guaranteed, and where threats lurked in every shadow. The tribe began the difficult task of butchering the snake, using its meat for food, its skin for clothing, and its bones for tools. They worked in silence, each person understanding the importance of this victory, yet knowing that they could never rest for long. The world was full of dangers, and there would be more battles to fight. As night fell, the tribe gathered around a small fire, the flickering light casting long shadows against the walls of their cave. They shared the meal, their faces lit by the warm glow, a rare moment of peace amidst the chaos of their existence. The elders spoke of their ancestors, of the long history of survival, and of the lessons they had learned in their struggle against the wild. Despite the hardships they faced, there was a sense of unity and purpose that bound them together. The young hunter, his chest heaving with exhaustion, looked around at his tribe. In their eyes, he saw not just relief, but also determination. Tomorrow, they would face new challenges, but for now, they could rest together. And so, under the vast starry sky, the tribe slept, knowing that their fight for survival was far from over. But they also knew that as long as they stood together, there was hope. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, the tribe stirred from their slumber. The previous day's battle had left them weary, but the promise of a new day brought with it the instinct to survive. The leader, an old but strong figure, rose from his resting place and surveyed the scene. His tribe was still intact, but the dangers of the world were far from over. Today, they had to move on. The savanna offered no permanent sanctuary. The next challenge was always waiting, whether it came in the form of a predator, another rival tribe, or a sudden shift in the weather. The tribe gathered their belongings, stone tools, weapons, and the precious water they had collected from the river, and began their journey onward. The leader's gaze lingered on the river where the giant snake had fallen. The battle had been won, but they could not afford to grow complacent. Their survival depended on their ability to adapt and respond, to stay one step ahead of the dangers that constantly threatened their existence. And so they moved forward, their eyes scanning the terrain, their senses heightened. As the tribe made its way across the savanna, they encountered another danger, an unexpected storm. Dark clouds gathered above, and the wind began to pick up, howling through the grasses. The tribe knew the signs a storm was coming, and it could bring with it more than just rain. They needed shelter, and they needed it fast. The tribe quickly found a small cave nestled at the base of a hill. It wasn't much, but it would offer them some protection from the storm. They huddled inside, the sound of the wind and rain battering the entrance. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of damp earth and the heat of their bodies. But in this moment, the tribe was safe. The storm raged for hours, but as the clouds finally parted and the rain ceased, the tribe emerged from their shelter. They had weathered yet another storm, both literal and metaphorical. The savanna was a harsh and unforgiving place, but it was their home, a place that would always test their limits, always push them to their breaking point. But they would survive, because they had no choice. As they continued their journey, The leader looked back at the storm-tossed land behind them. The tribe was battered, bruised, and tired, but they were still standing. And that, in the end, was the most important victory. The tribe moved forward united, knowing that their battle for survival would never truly end. But in the face of giant snakes, brutal storms, and the ever-present dangers of their world, they had learned to endure, to fight, and to survive together. And that was the strength that would carry them through whatever lay ahead. Together, they walked on one step at a time into the unknown.